we are out and about again on the big bird, the big Super Blackbird. I wanted to do a quick ride out because the bike is actually, let me just lift that up a bit, the bike is actually up for sale now. And well, it's a beautiful sunny day, so I just thought, well, why not get out there and see what the fuck is going on out here in Cornwall. It is the 25th of July, if I remember rightly, and well, as I said, I decided I was going to pop out for a quick ride on this big old bird, because oddly enough, there's been a fair amount of interest, but nothing where I would say, oh my god, you know, let me just close that down, maybe that'll help you a bit. Nothing that like I would normally expect to see on a bike. I think a lot of people were perhaps put off by, or are perhaps put off by, the fact that it's had new fairings, as in Chinese fairings, because a lot of people are asking, is it the original fairings, is it pattern parts, is it Chinese, why did you replace them, did it have a crash, etc, etc. So I'm constantly having to explain to people that you know, I literally just changed them because, let me just get out here a minute, I simply changed them because they were scratched up and a bit bruised, and I wanted to, yeah, there we go, I wanted to make it beautiful again. Anyway, look, I'm going to shut up for a minute because I'm not sure you guys can hear me through this wind anyway. We'll take a quick whip down here and then we'll catch up again. So that was the A38. I don't know if you could hear any of that, and I probably chopped it out because it was quite windy, because I'm having to use my old K-Berg helmet to record this. Let me just lift this up a minute if I can. I didn't just bash the camera. Bear with me a second, guys, because it's so fucking hard to try. There we go. Let me just make sure that's as it should be. Yeah, it's so hard to make a video when I don't know what I'm looking at. There you go, see. I don't know what you guys are looking at, as in I don't know what angle the camera is on. I mean, this is the second time I've been out on this bike with the camera. Hopefully you will have seen the other one by now. If not, I mean, I may just do this and upload it today just as a quick bonus one, because I'm running out of content, if I'm honest. I've not bought a lot of stuff over the last few weeks from Cinetic or privately or anything like that. I'm in the middle of, well, I've just finished doing a project on a little car, which I should be uploading next week, I imagine. I mean, it all depends when I upload this, really, so this could make absolutely no sense, and if that's the case, I apologise. Yeah, so as I said, there's not a huge amount of content for me to give you guys. That's why, well, that's not one of the reasons why I'm doing this. I'm doing this because I love this bike, and I wanted to try something different, i.e. change all the fairings, etc, etc. And it was a beautiful sunny day, so I thought I'd take you along with me for the second ride on this bike. Again, obviously, if I do put this out today on the 25th of July, you'll see this before you see the other ride, which is a bit back to front, but it gives you something to watch, doesn't it, really? But we're not going to get off the bike and show you around it, because obviously I want you to see the end of the other videos first. So we're basically going down the road to Bodmin from Liskeard, and we're going to pass a few little bits and bobs, and I'm going to show you. It's a bit of a vlog, I suppose, in that respect. I'm hoping it's not going to vibrate on this video too much, the sound that is, and I'm hoping I've got the... Let me just get rid of this chewing gum. It's a nightmare. I'm chewing this chewing gum, it feels like I've got false bloody teeth in. Yeah, I'm hoping the angle on the camera is good, and I'm hoping the sound quality is better than it was on the first one, because obviously I've seen that, and it was a bit crackling, a bit distorted. So you know, it's one of those things, isn't it? If you haven't done it forever kind of thing, and this is my first couple of videos on the bike with a camera, you've got to work out where the angles are, you know, whether to have the volume controls, how loud to speak, that kind of stuff. So I'm just kind of hoping that this one is going to come out all right. Because what I've done, I rang up Hastings Direct, because I've been with them a while with all my cars and bikes. Let me just shut this down. Been with them quite a while with all my cars and bikes. And I said to them, you know, I've got the XJR1100, which I'm hoping you've seen the video on. If not, it's up in the top right hand corner now. And I said, can I just change over the insurance to this CBR1100 Super Blackbird, please? They said, yeah, no problem at all. Bearing in mind, the insurance policy was about 105 quid, I think, for the XJR, because I'm so old, and I've got a fair amount of no claims bonus. Trago Mills, by the way, if you've ever wondered where it is, that's where it is. That's what it looks like. That's all your cheap shit that you can get down in Cornwall. That's where all the old buggers go for their cup of tea and their dinner and all the rest of it. Where was I digress slightly. Yeah, I was trying to change over the insurance, and there's two people that haven't nodded when I've nodded my head at them, miserable fuckers. Yeah, 105 quid for the policy on the XJR for 12 months, so I took that as a direct debit, and I said I want to change it over to the CBR Super Blackbird, bearing in mind roughly the same sort of power, I guess, roughly the same age, roughly the same value, I guess. And they wanted 70 quid, and I just thought, hold on a minute, the policy's £105 and you want me to pay 2/3 of that again just to change the policy over onto this Super Blackbird, which seemed extraordinary to me. I mean, I wouldn't have minded 30, maybe even 40 quid, but I'm not going to pay them £70 just to press a couple of buttons. That just seems fucking insane to me. Excuse my language as well, by the way, today, guys. That kind of stuff really gets my goat, as they say, grinds my gears. So I found a company called Short Term, I think it is. I'll put a link in the description if you need it, and they will insure you on your bike for the day for £14.95. Well, they will me anyway, on this particular bike. Obviously it's all subjective in the respect of what bike you've got, how old you are, how many no claims bonus, how long you've had your no claims bonus, that kind of stuff, and probably where you live. But it cost me £14.95. So I thought, okay, well, let's go out for a ride then. 15 quid for a ride out. I mean, the bike came to me, this particular bike came to me with half a tank, more than half a tank of fuel. So I thought I might as well use it. There's no point in giving it to somebody else. And yeah, so here we are, out on the A30, on the way, or was this the A? Yeah, this is the A30, I think. And here we go, 30 miles an hour. Fuck's sake. It's a bit of a nightmare, this road, and it has been for quite a while, because they've been doing some roadworks. Yeah, well, they haven't really. They're pretending to do some roadworks down here for, let me just double check that. They've been pretending to do some roadworks down here for what seems like the last 2 years. I think what they actually do is they pretend to do roadworks, because those bollards, as you can see over there, have been at the side of the road for at least 12 months. So they haven't been doing anything down there. I think what they do is they just leave them there to slow people down, and then go up to an average speed kind of setup going on down here as well. I guess it works, but I mean, as you can see, there's no schools, there's no houses. It's just a bit of a B road between Liskeard and Bodmin. I don't really see the need to slow it down to 30 miles an hour, if I'm honest. But hey ho, I'm not on the council board, so it's not down to me, is it, I guess. Let me just change that gear a minute. And it doesn't go on too far anyway, but as I said, we're going to get into Bodmin and we're going to have a little look around there. I want to show you the jail as well, because if you know anything about Bodmin, you may not know what's going on with the jail, so I'll keep that as a little surprise until we get in there. We're back into a 50 now, so what was the bloody point in that? We'll slow everybody down to 30 miles an hour for no particular reason. Fucking hell, somebody actually nodded at me. Alright, let me just, yeah, that's better, because otherwise you might get a bit of a whistling. I mean, I'm hoping again you guys can actually hear this and it's not too over the top with the distortion, because there's not much I can do about that. If it's really shit, then basically I won't upload it, I'll just keep it for me. Anyway, I'm going to shut up for a minute and I'll catch up with you again in a second when we reach Bodmin. here we are then, back in Bodmin. I actually used to live here a couple, 5 years ago actually. When I came back from Greece, I ended up living here in Bodmin for a couple of years, I think. Not a great fan, I have to say. It's a bit scroty down here in Bodmin. There's some interesting characters, shall we say. Not my kind of people in that respect. But an interesting little town all the same. I mean, they've got this bloody enormous, I don't know if you can see it there, huge police station. I mean, absolutely ginormous. The entire right hand part of that, we'll see it on the way back out probably, is the big police station, where they have absolutely no cells, no way of detaining people. It's basically an admin office. I won't tell you how I know that, but oh, there he goes now, look. It's basically an admin office. I don't really know what they do there. If you get arrested in this part of Cornwall, I kid you not, they will take you to probably Newquay, because that's the closest place they've got that has a cell, or cells in that respect, which is a bit bizarre when you consider the size of that bloody building and the age of Newquay police station, which is, oh Christ, probably 70s, 80s, maybe even earlier. Come on then, Doris, let's have you. Right, you going around here, are you? Okie dokie. Anyway, so I thought I'd just drop that little bit of info for you. There's our local hand car wash with our little local immigrant population in there scrubbing away. Another copper. They all seem to be around here. Obviously that police station, as I said, is bloody enormous, and there's always a police presence around here doing not a lot. Let me see if I can just lift this up. There we go, we're getting used to this now. Make sure that camera's still on and hasn't fallen off outside Trago Mills. Lovely big park there as well. They do crown green bowling, they do stuff for kids, they've got a skate park, they got a rugby pitch I think there as well, and football, all sorts going on there. I mean, as I said, I like Bodmin as a place. It's just some of the people that are from here tend to be a little bit scroty, shall we say. But it does have an incredible amount of history. There's all these abandoned buildings, which is a bit bizarre, like this one on the left here as we go through. I mean, I think that's actually in the process of being redone now, all of that stuff there. But historically, yeah, brilliant place. And they've done this thing which I don't think I've seen in any other British city yet, where they put a roundabout in that isn't actually a roundabout. There's no sign saying there's a roundabout. There's no kind of arrows to say who gives way to who and who's right away, and you know which way you're supposed to go round the bloody roundabout. I mean, I don't necessarily have to give way to this geezer here because there's not a fucking roundabout, is it? It's just a big circle in the middle of the road. But people do. I mean, I just did. I gave way to him and then decided, actually, hold on, I'm not legally obliged to. It's like these little things here as well. They're supposed to be for people to to walk across. Do you stop there? I mean, do you have to let them cross that little bit of road? I mean, this person's here now, waiting to cross the road. What the actual fuck? You think I'm going to stop my motorcycle for you? I mean, what are you, insane? That guy there, yeah, for sure, alright, he was a bit of an invalid by the looks of things, he had a walking issue. Of course I'd stop for him. But this crap here, I mean, because the what do you call them, the little bricks in the road are slightly different, we've got to stop and let people cross. There's nothing there to say we have to. So I'm not going to. Simple as that. Let me know your thoughts about that. I mean, do you have them in your cities? I mean, there's another one here, look, a tiny little roundabout. Now, is it a right turn, or is it my right of way? Right, so they're going to let me through. And where's the roundabout gone? I mean, no, we've got another one of these little pavement things here, and another one, and then probably another one. I mean, it's fucking ridiculous. Whoever came up with this idea for Bodmin needs a slap, quite frankly, in my opinion. I just don't understand. I mean, they probably spent hundreds of thousands, if not millions, to get all that done, because it was done in the last couple of years, and they probably spent a huge amount of money to do it, and it makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever, because I can't see how you can be legally bound to kind of obey the rules of the roundabout, as it were, because there's no sign there saying there's a roundabout ahead, there's no arrows saying which way you go around it, and there's no signs there saying whose right of way it is. So ergo, it's not a bloody roundabout, is it? The jail! As I said to you, I would show you the jail, because this incredibly old jail here, I don't know when it's from, probably 17th, 18th century. If you look into Cornish history, you'll probably know all about Bodmin Jail. It's been turned into a hotel, I shit you not. Look at that. And that's happened over the space of the last, again, probably 5 years, I would think, since I moved out. And they've done all this greenery around here as well. They've made this a really, really, really nice little place to be. They've got this kind of cycle path that goes from Liskeard to Wadebridge, I think it is, which is a lovely idea. They've actually blocked off half the park by making it into a bloody great car park, as you can see there, which is a bit odd. But you can cycle all the way to Wadebridge. It's the Camel Trail, is it? Something like that? Oh, yeah, there we go, the Camel Trail. I'm not going to go any further because I don't particularly want to. It was a quick trip into Bodmin, just to show you basically the jail, what they've done to it, and a bit of Bodmin. We'll ride up through and I'll come back through Bodmin just so you can see the high street and stuff. I mean, again, this isn't really necessarily my kind of content. This is just a Sunday bimble, as they call it, you know, just to give you guys something to watch if you're interested. So we'll cut back in when I get to Bodmin High Street, and we'll show you a little bit of that, and then basically I'm going to turn around and go home because and I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about the bike as well. You've got to love this. I mean, look at the bloody size of that wall. You know, do some research on this jail. It's got a huge story behind it. I mean, I did a little bit of research when I first moved down here because I was curious. It used to have a little restaurant just inside there that you could go to, but now, as I said, it's an entire hotel, which I actually quite like that. I think it's brilliant. I don't know how much it is to stay there. I'll put a link into the hotel in the description if you like. Maybe you can check it out for yourselves. Anyway, we'll cut back in a minute, guys, when I get back into Bodmin. So here we are again, guys, back into the madness that is the Bodmin roundabouts that make absolutely no bloody sense whatsoever. Again, I've had my little rant about that, so I'm not going to go on to it again. It's just I find it confusing, so I imagine as a tourist they must find it real bloody confusing. See, now I want to... Oh, we're going to overheat in a minute if we don't get these tossers out of my way. I'm going to go straight over here, but that guy there in that car there, ever heard of give way to the right? Oh, hold on, it's not a roundabout, is it? You see the confusion? That was a prime example of it. So, Peking Palace, eh? Tiddly-po and all that. We're going to go straight into here. There's the old courthouse as well, which I think has got some cells in there from what I remember. Lovely old building. They used to do markets and stuff down there. This is obviously back open again. This is the old high street, or the high street as it still is, I guess. But it's got some lovely old buildings in here. Well, see that geezer there, that young lad expected me to stop because the colour of the bricks in the road was slightly different to the rest of the road. I'm sorry, no, I don't have to. There's nothing there. It's not a Pelican bloody crossing, is it? I'm sorry if this sounds like a bit of a rant, but it is. And look at this guy, park on double yellows on the pavement. Legend. Parking in Bodmin at its best. As I said, I did live here for a little while, and I'm fully aware of its pitfalls, but it is a lovely little town. There's the local Scroat bar there. I mean, I'm sure it's a very nice bar, but the sort of people I've seen coming out of there, yeah, I wouldn't trust them with my daughter, let's put it that way. And there's the Witherspoons, the other Scroaty pub. Now that is full of Scroats, trust me. I know, I used to go there. So that's pretty much, I mean, look at that, St Austell's Ales there. That has been abandoned for at least 7-8 years that I know of. Because I used to walk past it on the way to Wetherspoons and still nothing's really happening there. And oddly enough, this is the road I used to live on when I lived in Bodmin. And there's the old People's Home, which they're rebuilding by the looks of things. Anyway, I used to live somewhere there. There's a lovely bit at the top of this road here actually. I'm going to try and get a move on here because this bike is overheating slightly. I mean, if you get to see this video, and I've already uploaded the other one, the first ride out as it were on this bike, then you'll see there that I was kind of exclaiming as it were about the overheating, and it's overheating a bit. I was going to stop because there's a place up here called the Beacon, which is really nice to walk your dogs on. but I want to get some air in this bike because, as you can see, we're starting to overheat a bit. I don't know enough about the bike really to be able to say, oh, that's fine. So we're going to get some air into this engine and cool it down a little bit. So we'll catch up in a minute after we've left Bodmin, I guess, because we're going to leave on a slightly different road than we came in on, so I won't be able to show you the police station, but yeah, just enjoy this little bit as we leave Bodmin, I suppose. Fucking lights on. Look at that, how stupid am I? I've been riding, I mean, I'm a great advocate of riding with your lights on, and here I am riding along with no lights on. And you know why that is? It's because I'm used to modern bikes where the lights come on automatically. Oh, good God. Anyway, we're about to leave Bodmin, as I said, slightly different route out. There's the railway station there. They do these like theme railway trips where you can have a cup of tea, like a cream tea kind of thing. You take one of these old trains, as you can see, take one of the old carriages. I'm not sure how much it costs, but it's something that I've wanted to take my mum on. So if you're in the area anytime, or you're planning on visiting, it's something worth checking out, I think. Just to go on there. I don't know what times of the year they do it. I know they do a Christmas one because I wanted that for my mum. I wanted to take on one of those, but as her birthday is in November, I didn't want her to wait for her present. It seemed a little bit mean. Some more old walls of Bodmin here. I mean, I'm assuming these were the kind of perimeter boundary walls of Bodmin. I mean, I don't know much about the history. I should have kind of looked at that before I brought you guys along with me. I'm just hoping this video comes out nicely because it's been a nice little ride so far on the Bluebird. The furthest I've gone so far, which is about 15 miles now, I think, I suppose. And there's the college we're just about to come up to. As I said, we're going to leave Bodmin on a slightly different route, which will be a little bit faster. So I won't be able to talk once we get right out of there. There's Bodmin College there. Lots of beautiful young ladies there. And beautiful young men as well, if you're into that kind of thing. That's the road that takes us back out the way we came in. But we're going to go this way. I want us to go through Lostwithiel because I really like Lostwithiel. So we're going to take a little track back through there. Oh, I've got to know this bike a little bit on this ride, I have to say. It's got something that I haven't actually mentioned on any of the videos. It's got this dual braking system which Honda utilised, which takes a little bit of getting used to, but my God, the brakes on this bike, or these bikes, are stunning. They're not stainless steel braided lines or anything like that. They're just bloody good brakes. I think I've mentioned before that the clutch is sublime on this. The only clutch that even comes close to being as soft as this was my Triumph T120 Black, which I did a review on. I'm going to close that because hopefully you guys can hear me. Yeah, because that had an incredibly soft clutch on it. And this is incredibly soft as well. Just makes riding so much easier. The downside of this bike, of course, is my age. Just purely and simply, I'm an old man now, and riding along in this position can get a little bit painful after a while. Keep having to open that up because I got a feeling it might end up being a little bit bassy for you guys if I just leave it. Right, yeah, okay. There's a lovely bike shop, well, I say lovely bike shop, there's a Harley-ish dealer, I think they used to do Harleys, called 4 Motorcycles, just down that road there. I think they do Victory bikes now, and I think they did Aprilia for a while. lovely to pop in there now and again if you're in the area. Just pop in there, have a look at some really, really nice bikes, out of the ordinary kind of bikes. You know, I often pop in there just to have a little nose, really, because my nose is bloody enormous. Ha ha. Anyway, we're on what I would call the Lostwithiel road now. This is the road that will take us to St Austell if we wanted to go that way. Some lovely houses around here, old converted churches, that kind of stuff. A nice little B road, just to bimble along on a Sunday, which is exactly what we're doing. I'm hoping you guys can hear it. I'm hoping the camera's still working. We haven't run out of bloody memory or something stupid like that, because I could be talking to myself now, couldn't I? And I'll get home, plug it into the computer, and there'll be absolutely nothing there. Wouldn't that just be bloody awesome? Anyway, we're going to carry on down this road for a while, and I'll pick it back up at the next junction. Somebody who actually turned around and said hello by way of a nod. One of my big pet hates, I think after you've been riding for a certain amount of time and you're getting to a certain kind of age, you kind of expect people to give you a little nod if they come past on a motorbike. There's certain bikers that won't do that. I don't think I've ever been nodded at by a Harley rider, if I'm honest. They're kind of a law unto themselves, aren't they? They just won't nod at anything that isn't a Harley. Whatever, that's down to them, I guess, isn't it? But most bikers do nod, and it does bloody annoy me. I kind of shout and swear at them under my breath, as it were. I'm not going to bother overtaking you, mate, but thanks for trying to just pull out the way. People will do that, you know, they're better in cars. I mean, he's given me all that room to get past him now, look, but the nature of the road makes it a little bit difficult. Let's see what we've got going on around here. No, we're not going to bother here because that car's there, but we will give it a fillip here. So, top of the mountain, as it were. Well, not really. We've got past that geezer. Now, the one thing I was talking about how nice this bike is to ride and the dual braking system, etc., etc., and my age, as it were. When it comes to comfort, the seat, I've got to say, is super comfortable. I've not had one issue so far with bum cramp, as it were, which I do often get. So there must be a hell of a lot of padding in this seat. It's really, really comfortable, actually, and that's the stock seat. With the stock exhaust on here as well, of course, it's nice and quiet. There's not, let me just lift this up a sec, guys. There we go. It's not too loud, it's not too soft, it's just about where it should be, I suppose. I mean, I do like a nice loud exhaust on what I would call a street bike, something like a Speed Triple 1050, KTM 1290 Duke, those kind of bikes. I think you need to have a nice fat exhaust on them. They just beg for it, really, don't they? But something a little bit more gentlemanly, like the Super Blackbird 1100 CBR1100XX, which is what this is, of course, in case you've forgotten. I think it deserves a little bit more discretion, shall we say. You know, you just you know, cruise along. You've got the power you need. You don't need to shout about it. But when you've got something loud and aggressive, like, as I said, the Speed Triple or the Super Duke, then I wonder if we can still go through here. Look at that, we're going to be a little bit cheeky. Scull through here a little bit. We'll miss out on that. Oh, wow. It's going to take me 2 years to get over here. No, maybe not then. Yeah, as I said, a little bit more gentlemanly ride on the Super Blackbird than it would be on something like a Speed Triple or a KTM Super Duke 1290. MT10, that kind of stuff. I would put an exhaust on those. You can actually get the exhaust for these bikes relatively cheap. I think Delkovich do a set on for here bearing in mind they're 2 pipes with the connectors, etc. I think they do a set for about 300 quid, which that's pretty good going, I think. Oh God, I hope this microphone isn't picking up so much wind you can't hear me, and I'm hoping that my bassy voice isn't making it distort like it did in the first video, because that was such a shame. But generally speaking, it's a calm, nice ride on the Blackbird. You just kind of pootle along, but the downside is my back, and if I'm honest, my groin area is starting to cramp up, not my arse. As I said, the seat is really comfy, but that whole crunched forward like so is starting to affect my groin area, shall we say, slightly. The jewels, I mean, I could slide back in the seat, but it's a bit difficult going down a hill, isn't it? But generally speaking, a comfortable ride. Yeah, it's nice. I don't know if I personally could do a long distance on this, because I'm starting to get aches in the elbows from being kind of, you know, you get it more obviously going downhill, but I'm starting to get aches. Oh, look at that then. Nice little T4 driver pulling straight out in front of a Jag. Nice. Yeah, I'm starting to feel it in my elbows and in my jewels after we've been 20 miles, which isn't great, is it really? But that is a lot to do with me personally. I don't ride enough anymore. I tend to go out, oh crikey, at the moment, once every couple of months. I know that's disgusting, absolutely disgusting. And I mean for a proper ride, because obviously I move bikes around a little bit, I try them out, and then I tend to sell them on. Oh. So if I was riding like I was when I was 18, 20 years old, which was like literally every single day I rode a bike. I lived on my motorcycle then back in the 80s and 90s, and I had some incredible bikes. All sorts of stuff like GS1000S's, which are 10 grand each now, and I bought mine for 500 quid. Oh, those were the days. But anyway, this is Lostwithiel. I forgot to tell you, this is the lovely Lostwithiel. We're just driving through it now, or riding through it now. Lovely little part of the world. Let me get that down, because there's quite a bit of wind here. Oh, if we shut that down. Yeah, lovely little part of Cornwall, Lostwithiel. I really like it. I don't know what it is about it that makes me like it so much, but it's very quaint. And again, it's got a bit of history. That might be... Oh, crikey. Yep, everything's still attached. You never know with these bloody things, do you? These GoPros, I can't really see it, so I'm hoping you guys can see. What was I talking about? Lostwithiel, yes. A lovely little quaint little town. They do market fairs here, that kind of stuff. A bit of an older generation town, but I like it. It's clean, it's nice, it's Cornish, it's got a bit of history and character to it, and we've just ridden through it. That's about it, basically. There's not much else to show. Yeah, just a nice little place to be. And we are now on the road back to Liskeard, which is a lovely bit of road actually. This road will take you to Lou and Polperro, that kind of stuff, if you wanted to go that way. But we're not going to go that way today. We're going to go straight back to Liskeard. The dual ache, as I was talking about just now, is subsided slightly as we're not going downhill, which is nice. But I do get the pain in the elbows. I think if we had some risers on here, which I'm 90% sure you can get the VFR risers to go straight on here, I think that would make things a lot less painful on the arms. Anyway, we're going to spin down this road. I may record it, I may not, so bear with me. So that was the road from where were we, Lostwithiel to the turning for Lou. This is kind of Taphouse, this area here. I don't know if you've ever been through here on your holidays or if you live around here. But this is I think this is East Taphouse. They do an east and a west, but it's again a beautiful part of the country. They've done this thing over the last couple of years here in Cornwall where they tend to leave all the verges wild. They do the pathways, but they leave all these really wild for the bees and stuff, I'm assuming. There's the road to Polperro there and to Lou, where we used to have a caravan down there many moons ago. But as I said, this is Taphouse here, East Taphouse I think this is, and I'll soon find out. Now the one thing I would suggest you do when you drive through East Taphouse is go bloody slowly and keep to the speed limit, because I got caught here doing 36 I think it was, and I had to do a speed awareness course, which, trust me, isn't my idea of fun. You're basically sat there getting lectured at by people younger than you, if you're my age of course, about how to ride and what to look out for. To be fair, a lot of it was actually quite informative, because bloody hell, that's a big roar. Because I didn't know things about if a road's got lampposts, then it's a 30-mile-an-hour zone, etc, etc. Certain parameters that mean why it's 30 miles an hour or 40 miles an hour or 60 miles an hour. So I did learn something there, and it cost me, I think it was like 100 quid or 80 quid or something like that, but it meant I didn't get any points on my license. So yeah, interesting, but I don't want to get caught again and have to do another one, let's put it that way. So that was East Taphouse. Let's get to Liskeard. I do apologise if my hand keeps getting in the way there, guys. It's the only way I can actually lift up the helmet visor, because I think with the helmet visor down it's possibly a little bit too bassy for you guys and it might resonate on the microphone. I'm not sure. I guess when I get home we'll find out, and I'm hoping this is all bloody still recording, because otherwise I look like a complete, well I won't, because you won't see it, will you? This is Dobwalls, which is an interesting little part of Cornwall as well. It's about 2 miles outside from where I live, really. Little 30-mile-an-hour village town, yeah, village I suppose. A lot of old buggers live here in their little bungalows. Nice little place, you know. It's got a couple of pubs, a little spa, a couple of showrooms for cars, that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's alright. I mean, I came back through this part just because otherwise I'd have had to go onto the A38 again, which would have meant you may not have been able to hear me, because obviously I can't shout when I'm doing 65, 70 miles an hour, can I? Because of course that's as fast as I go on a bike, as I'm sure we all stick to the rules, as it were. So I thought if I go down this little bit here, I can kind of wrap up this this little Sunday ride for you. As I said, we've done about 50 miles on the bike, generally speaking now, and we've done about 30 miles on this little travel. Believe it or not, yeah, that's about 30 miles, because when I looked down originally we had 19, now we've got 47, so by the time we get home it'll be 49, ergo 30 miles. anyway, if this is still recording, which I'm really praying it is, and if the sound quality is good, which again I'm really hoping it is, I hope you enjoyed this. It's not something I've ever done before, a little sort of Sunday bimble, but I wanted to give you guys something to watch on a Sunday, and I'm hoping this, as I said, is of some interest to you. And if it is, then consider subscribing, because you know, comment below basically if you like this kind of stuff and you want to see me do more of it, more parts of Cornwall. If you want me to do a little trip down to Newquay or Penzance, Padstow, St Austell, anything like that. Charlestown, that's a lovely place. If you want me to do anything like that as a ride, you know, as in you come along for the ride kind of thing, just let me know in the comments, and I'll consider doing that. I don't know if it'll be on this bike, but as I said, this bike is actually up for sale at the moment. It's not had anywhere near as much interest as I thought it would have, and it's been about 2 weeks, and I priced it really bloody cheaply, if I'm honest. I priced it at 2495, which, when you consider it is immaculate, because I've just put new fairings on it, I think it's a bloody bargain. But a lot of people, I think, are put off by the fact that it's had new fairings, and it's not the right time of year. Ooh, went into there a bit fast. It's not the right time of year to be selling a bike, because we are in the middle of summer. It's July the 25th. So you've either got your bike, or you've decided not to buy a bike, or you're selling your own bike because you can't ride it anymore. So spring is the best time to sell a bike, in my opinion. Somewhere around about March, April, May, those 3 months there are the key months. When you get into July, August, you might as well try and keep it, because although the prices might be higher in that respect, we'll just put that down, the prices might be higher at dealers, there's less interest, I think, purely because everyone's got a bike. They're not looking necessarily to buy another bike in August. You've kind of already got your bike, haven't you, surely? Anyway, I'll shut up for a second until we get off this A38. Anyway, as I was saying, let me just open this up again, or try to, without falling off the bloody bike. Yeah, I don't think July is the best time of year to be selling a bike, if I'm honest, but I'm not that bothered, because I actually really like the bike. It's been a lot of fun so far, so I don't really mind keeping it for a little while if I have to. You know, even if I had to keep it till spring, I would. Get a new MOT on it, that kind of stuff. Not overly concerned. But hopefully it will sell and we can move on, because I'm still hoping to get a 1260 or at least a 1200S multi-strada, because, as I said, my arse is actually getting a little bit numb on this bike now, and that's after 30 miles, and my elbows are a little bit achy, because obviously I'm pushed down on them because of the nature of the bike. So I think sit up and beg bikes like Taurus, that kind of stuff, is better for me. Anyway, as I said, I hope you've enjoyed this little bimble out with me today. I'm almost home. And again, comment below. Do you want me to do any more of these? Do you think it's really worth my while doing it, or should I just shut up and do what I've been doing? Comments below, please. Thank you very much. And as I said, I really hope you've enjoyed this. And if you have, I'll do another one for you. All right, take care.